it's Reenactment Day here with another video. Now, in this video, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to show you the proper way to oil a field phone, the EE-8 field phone, and how to disassemble it to the point where you can oil it. So, starting off, since we are indoors, no caps. Now, the EE-8 field phone, this field phone was used pretty much from World War II, or pre-World War II, straight through to Vietnam, probably a little later. This field phone works great, as you might have seen in my previous video. We were using them with 50 feet of wire, worked like a charm. But has the canvas cover, the waterproof canvas cover, not the leather one. I plan to get a leather one at some point, but that's not for a little bit. This opens with two lifted dots. Sadly, one of my lifted dots, the canvas here shrunk, so they do not align anymore. This is supposed to align with that, and as you can see, it doesn't get nearly as close. So you open that, but this another lifted dot on the side. Pop that open, and you have your whole field phone and your headset phone. So we will start off disassembling this. Right now I have my Signal Corp Signal Corp tool pouch. This has a pair of pliers in it and a pair of pretty much a multi-tool, which is just a knife and a screwdriver. It does not have the correct pair of pliers in there right now. As you see, it came with the wrong pliers, but I still got it for a good enough price. But these are post-war. One way I can tell is it says made in West Germany. So I don't think the enemy would have made us stuff. And I don't think Germany was still whole at that point. But it came with the original multi-tool. See, black handle, silver knife right there. And the, still a bit tight in there. Just broke my nail. There we go. Screwdriver. Now this screwdriver works really well. It fits pretty much any screw for the time. This is why I use this a lot when I'm disassembling World War II things. It is quite nice to have. So normally, because my field phone was in really bad shape when I got it, it is missing these two front screws and the back screw. So I do not have those screws to take out, but if you had a full-fledged field phone with all the screws, you would remove these two screws. There is another one right there and two on the back. Also, you would have to remove these two brass screws right there and there at the bottom of the lever, bottom and top of the lever. That's pretty much just, this is really all that's holding in my phone right now. One of them I just recently got, and the other one is the original screw. So, in total, there was only one screw holding this whole thing together, which was not very nice. Almost got it. There we go. You want to make sure you put the screws in a safe area as well. And the screws, the case screws are the most important ones to keep kind of where they went, so you can put it back together. All the other screws are mostly interchangeable. You can put one screw here, take that screw out and put it in a different hole and it still fit. But what you're going to want to do next is the battery slot right here But I find the easiest way to take the phone out is you put your hand in the battery slot, make sure the batteries are out, and you just lift it up and out. Then you can get rid of the case. Now for easier disassembly of the phone, and so I do not damage the wire more than it is, I'm going to remove the phone. It is held on by one screw. Okay, here we go. Held on by one screw up here and 3 connectors. Now you want to remember what color these went in. So right now the color goes red, then black, and I think that's supposed to be white. But you're going to want to take those off. Remember where the cords went or it's not going to work. Also, while disassembling your field phone, if you are on the field, you would want to disconnect the wire. Because if you're holding the field phone here, unscrewing it, and somebody rings it, they'll turn this, send the electrical current through it, and straight into this thing. So when your hand's on it, unscrewing it, you're going to get one heck of a shock. But you take these off, and you take that one screw off, and that one screw will remove this entire section right there, as you see. Now, the phone, you can just put away for now. Make sure you keep the screws together with the phone. And to disassemble this field phone, you really, well, to the point of oiling, you really need to only get these few areas of screws. You can also get this side panel off, but that is unnecessary unless you want to make sure you get it very good, but it's not needed for the basic oiling. When I first got this field phone, I wasn't able to crank this without like holding it down, and like I had to hold it like this, which as you know would be very risky. So I had to make sure my fingers weren't on that and crank it like that because it was just so tough. Now I can just do that very easy, which makes life a whole lot easier with this phone. But most of these are not the original screws. They didn't come with it, so I had to replace them. But as you see, there are a total of 5 screws on this one side. Also, I think on one of these, I'm pretty sure is the date on this. 44 it says right there. So I'm guessing that would be the date on this phone. So you just have to slowly unscrew each individual screw. This tool is the most handy thing for disassembling it. There we go. Screw. Alright. It is a slow process of just unscrewing it, but I find taking apart things and putting them together fun. So, with anybody else who might not like doing this, this is would be a tedious, annoying thing to do. Pretty much all these sides are just sheet metal. And the screws just go into the sheet metal, holding it on and connecting it to the rest of this box. Okay, and now I have 2 more to go. This, the cover on here is also a bit bent, but I'm not going to try and fix that. And I'm thinking, don't want to lose that, I'm thinking this was repainted in Vietnam, because in Vietnam they use that color quite a bit. But I think this was used in Vietnam because of this paint right here. But I'm not going to repaint it or anything. I'm just going to leave it as is. Because, who knows? A GI could have done that because he had paint and just to make it look better. And there we go. The screw. And then you remove the sheet of metal. It is literally just a sheet of metal. On the back, that's where the screw would go in for the case. Right there. But now, we can put this aside. Take the screwdriver, and if we're not going to disassemble it farther, we're not going to need it. So, close that up. Put it back in the pouch. And snap that down. And snap it down. Okay. Now the inside of the phone, as you may see. This might be very confusing to people who do not understand electricity. So that is why I'm confused by it. But I understand this is the generator right here. And the bell is down here. This generator, you're going to want to oil certain parts of this. That is the main, because, you know, they're gears. You don't want them to wear, and you want them to make them move a lot easier. So what I recommend is this 3-in-1 oil. Works great. Many people use it. And actually, to use this, for some reason, I gotta get my screwdriver out again. Didn't break my nail this time. And pry the cap off for some reason. Come on. This is the annoying part of this oil. I don't know if that's just with every case or just this one, but it's something I gotta do. I'll just leave this out because I gotta use it to screw it back in anyway. So, as you see, the inside. Now, some main areas that you are going to want to oil are, I will come a little closer. Few areas you would want to oil right here in that crack, on the wheel, right next to the wheel. Then you're going to want to oil this little joint right there. You're going to want to oil right down here. There's more of the phone. And oil on this end up here. So that's where you're going to want to oil. If I had a stand, I would show you a top-down view of doing it. But what you're going to want to do, lay it on its side so the oil can drip down into those places. Take your oil, and you only want a few drops per section. Also, forgot to show, you're going to want to get right here, there's another gear right down here, where these, okay, there's this gear right here, and a smaller one down there. You're going to want to get the crack in between those two gears. So, you gotta, here we go. You're not going to want to do this too often. When you first get it, it's probably going to be pretty stiff and not being used for like 50 years. So it would be nice to put a nice coating of oil on it, and it would make it a lot easier to use. So one more little area. There you go. And put your cap back on your oil. I also recommend having a rag while doing this. I don't have one. But what's nice about it is you can see everything, and what's nice about my phone is it came with the original instructions, so if I learned how to read all of this, I would know pretty much what each wire means, what each wire does, where the electricity is going and coming from. And if something breaks on it, I could probably figure out what it could be, look at that wire, and figure out if that wire had the problem. So that is the oiling of it. I'm not sure if I got that area, but I will just get it a little bit. There we go. Just 1 or 2 drops per area. then you want to crank it, make sure it feels nice, and if it still needs a little bit of oil, put like another drop in, and keep doing that until you think it's very smooth. It's very oily. Okay, but then once that, you're gonna want to put your hand in a safe area. So you don't want to put your hand on here. You can grab it on the side, or if you want to be more safe, you can grab it with a rag, and you're just gonna want to twist it, move it around, make it so the oil can get there fully. And when you have your field phone, you're going to want to be able to crank it real fast to bring the other phone. So that is the oiling of this field phone. Now what you're going to want to do is, of course, reassemble it. I will take this part more in a different video if you guys wish to see it. Pretty much how far I know how to take it apart is this panel and the bell section right here. That opens things more up so you can see everything. There's really no need to take off the side panels or the back panel. You can get it to it, most of the things from front view panels. But we will take the panel and put it back on. Fits on just like that. Gonna want to align the holes and screw it together. What I recommend is just putting the screws in finger loose. Then when you are done, going around and tightening all the screws. Because if for some reason something doesn't align, you don't want to go around with a screwdriver loosening all the screws again. You can just use your fingers, untwist them. Here we go. Usually goes a lot quicker. While screwing it in, but unscrewing it is the part that takes a long time. And there we go. So once that's in, that's all that's in, you want to just screw it, make sure it's all tight. Again, that's why this screwdriver is very helpful, because it fits all the screws very nicely. And if you didn't notice, when I was replacing these screws, you might be thinking I might have had to cut them all, because each hole would probably be a different length. But that is incorrect. I did not need to cut any of them. They just screw right in fully. Of course, you don't want to make sure you want to make sure they're not like this long of a screw, like maybe that long of a screw. It will fit in nicely to almost every hole on this phone. There we go. Once that is fully assembled, you're going to want to, first of all, gonna close my oil so it doesn't spill everywhere. Would not be nice to clean up. Once that's all screwed together, as you see, you're going to want to take your case again and put your thing back in, your box, back into the case. Now what's easy is just to set it in there, reach down, and push it over. That's the easiest way I figured out to do it. And you take one of the screws, you'll line it up with the hole, and you screw it together. Which sometimes a flashlight is more helpful with this, but I can do it just like this. These screws are going to be a bit more tough because as you're screwing, you're going to hold the case or the box into it and tighten it off. If I had another field phone, I would show you how it works. But for now, I do not. there we go. And finally, the last screw. And like I said, these screws can be very tight fitting because you're pulling the box and the case together. That is why it's slipping a lot out of the screwdriver. What's also nice about this screwdriver is you can use, the side is made so it's like a longer screwdriver. You can just twist it if it's easier. So like if you had a screw deep into the box, you could go in with this side and just kind of twist it on. And there we go. The box is now fully screwed together. Just go over, make sure these screws are tight. This one was not. So you're going to want to make sure they are. This field phone is very nice. Field phones are the most common things found in still working condition from World War II because they were just built very well. I should not have put the screwdriver away just yet. Now, what you're going to want to do, take your headset or your phone and screw that back on as well. As you see, there's a little lip right there, as you see. And that will go into a hole on the top, while the screw goes into the hole that's right next to it. Just kind of slides in most of the way, and then the last bit of the way just screws in. Just like that. It's tighten. So move the wire out of the way, and then you want to one by one reattach the wires on the phone. So mine went red. Okay, if you're looking at the phone the way I'm looking at it, red is all the way on the left, so you're going to want to tighten that on. Black was in the middle. Now I got to be very careful with my wires because they are crispy and very dry. And there we go. And the white one goes all the way on the other side. And then you're just going to want to make sure they're on there tight so they don't pull out while you're talking on the phone. One problem this phone has, and always has had, was sometimes if you're using the phone, the wires come out of the two wire holes. That's just the way the phone was made. It's a small downfall, but they're very quick to reconnect. Like if you needed to, you'd probably have those wires connected in 5 seconds. And then you just put your phone in, put your wire in, flap over, buckle it down, and you can test it with the cover closed as well. Nice. Very nice. So once you're done, I'll move this over to the side. Once you're done, knife goes in the case, and the post-war pliers also go in there. I have an original pair that I'm going to get, so no worries about that. And that is what you have with the field phone. I hope you enjoyed. I hope this video was helpful to some of you who might have one of these field phones, and hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys later.